Hello there, you're watching Nightline. I'm Anita Wu. The top stories. Cyber sex and human trafficking now part of secondary school syllabus. And former SSM CEO claims trial to 33 graft charges. Here's our opening story. Former Companies Commission of Malaysia, CCM Chief Executive Officer, Datuk Zahra Abdul Wahad Fenner, was charged at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court with receiving graft of more than 5 million ringgit 4 years ago. Her son, Abdulaziz Wan Ruslan, was charged separately with receiving and abetting his mother to receive 85,000 and 75,000 ringgit respectively. Datuk Zahra claimed trial to all 33 charges, which were read to her by an interpreter before Judge Azura Alwi on Wednesday. She allegedly received some 5.7 million ringgit from several individuals as an inducement for her to approve contracts and tenders involving SSM between 2015 and 2018. Datuk Zahra was also charged with abetting Abdulaziz to receive 15,000 ringgit from Samhan Adnan for the development of online networking entrepreneurs in March 2018. Meanwhile, Abdulaziz was slapped with 4 counts of receiving bribes and abetment amounting to 160,000 ringgit. The court set bail at 300,000 ringgit for Datuk Zahra and 70,000 ringgit for Abdulaziz and fixed November 26th for mention. The widow of Cradle Fund Sdn Bhd Chief Executive Officer Nazrin Hassan had an expressionless face upon the arrival of firefighters to extinguish a fire at a house in Mutiara Homes, Petaling Jaya on June 14th last year. The 9th witness in the case, fireman Muhammad Afzan Majid, said on arrival he saw Samira Muzaffar waiting for them at the front door without any reaction such as crying, wailing in grief or screaming, despite her husband being in the burning room. Testifying at the Shah Alam High Court on Wednesday, Afzan said when he and the firefighting team arrived at the victim's house to extinguish the fire in the master bedroom, he saw Samira in front of the main door of the house looking expressionless. He said it was also the first time in his 22-year career that he saw an individual who did not show any reaction to a fire involving death. However, he revealed that Samira begged him to let her look at her husband's corpse on the bed in the burning room after the fire had been extinguished. Afzan said he later accompanied the accused to look at the remains of Nazrin after obtaining permission from the operations supervisor. Besides Samira, he testified that he also saw other people inside the house, 2 women in their 40s and a 3-year-old child when he went downstairs. He said the 2 unidentified women were at the kitchen area. On August 3rd last year, the death of Nazrin, 47, was reclassified as murder under Section 302 of the Penal Code after an investigation by the Fire and Rescue Department found traces of petrol at the scene of fire. The Education Ministry has introduced cyber sex and human trafficking as part of the secondary school syllabus. Deputy Education Minister Teo Ni Ching said the 2 topics were being taught to students as part of the ministry's efforts to create more awareness and increase their level of preparedness.
我们也要把这个 cyber sex child grooming 这方面的讯息放进了我们的体育和健康教育里面的一环，所以这方面就是希望让我们的小朋友懂得去分辨，什么样的接触是可以被接受，什么样的接触是必须高声大喊说不的。那么除此以外，我们的课外活动里面也有各式各样的课外活动，包括说空手道啊、跆拳道啊，这一些都是可以让有兴趣的小朋友跟父母去选择，让他们的学生去参与的。
Teo was speaking to the media at SJKC Bercham in Ipoh Perak on Wednesday. It was reported that an 11-year-old girl in Sabah stabbed a man's eye with an ice cream stick after he tried to rape her. The incident prompted parents to urge for some form of self-defense to be taught in schools. Teo said the Education Ministry has introduced martial arts, such as taekwondo, as extracurriculum activities for students. She said students can join such activities if they are interested. Tun Daim Zainuddin is leading negotiations with China to retrieve the 8.3 billion ringgit that was already paid to contractors of the multi-product pipeline MPP and Trans-Sabah gas pipeline TSGP projects. Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said the discussions have been going on for the past 1 year. Lim said he does not think there is a better negotiator other than Tun Daim, as he has the discretion and freedom and is not part of the government. Lim added the pipeline projects in Sabah were among the many infrastructure projects that incurred a huge debt load for the government, given its dubious nature. The 8.3 billion ringgit payment to contractors of the project amounts to about 88% of the total contract value, despite claiming that 13% of the projects have been completed. Tun Daim also led renegotiation on the East Coast Rail Link ECRL project with the Chinese government on April 12 and successfully reduced its price from 65.5 billion ringgit to 44 billion ringgit, a whopping savings of 21.5 billion ringgit. Police will recall 12 individuals who have been previously detained to facilitate the investigation into the death of firefighter Muhammad Adib Muhammad Qasim if a new lead emerged. Bukit Aman CID Assistant Director SAC Mio Faridal Atrash Wahid said the individuals were detained earlier to assist in the investigation and they were released on police bail.
Siasatan di bawah Seksyen 302 ke atas kejadian tersebut masih lagi teruskan. Kita tak pernah tutup siasatan tersebut. Imam berapa orang kita tangkap sekalipun, siasatan itu masih teruskan lagi. Mereka-mereka yang kita telah tahan sebelum ini, kita telah bebaskan dengan jaminan. Dan kalau ada keterangan-keterangan lain yang menyokong untuk kita memanggil mereka semula, kita akan panggil mereka semula.
To a question, he said the 12 individuals have no reason to flee, as the investigation found no clear evidence to link them to the incident. On Friday, the Shah Alam Coroner's Court ruled that Adib died after he was assaulted by 2 or 3 unidentified people during a riot in the vicinity of a Hindu temple in Subang Jaya last year. Following the verdict, Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Abdul Hamid Badur said the police would take appropriate action to investigate and identify those involved in his death. The Consumer Association of Pulau Pinang, or CAP, has urged the government to ban e-cigarettes and vaping products. Its president, Mohiddin Abdul Qadir, said the authorities should be proactive following reports of 805 confirmed and probable cases of severe lung disease and 12 deaths linked to vaping in the US.
We have a ticking time bomb in our midst. There are an estimated 1 million vapers in Malaysia, and about 10% of whom are minors. A 2017 study conducted in Malaysia revealed that 54% of these vapers interviewed obtained their zero nicotine e-liquid from the black market. 30% obtained home-made e-liquid.
He added that the US's Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, report has debunked claims that vaping is a safer alternative to smoking. The report also identified harmful substances in some vaping liquids, such as diacetyl, which is a chemical linked to a serious lung disease. The world's vaping industry, which has seen rapid growth, has faced growing public backlash over concerns of increased use by young people. Problems on the supply of paddy seedlings are now resolved with the distribution of an additional quota of 2,500 metric tons of registered paddy seedlings to suppliers. Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry Minister Datuk Salahuddin Ayub said the additional quota was approved by the Finance Ministry on Wednesday.
Dah ada keputusan, dah beres. We walk the talk. Kita dah hadapi itu kerana ada permintaan saat akhir. Ada di kalangan tempat itu mereka pada mulanya tak nak tanam, tapi lepas tu nak tanam pula. Jadi kita selesaikan cepat. Kita accommodate, ya.
He was speaking after launching the 2019 National Farmers, Breeders and Fishermen's Day in Putrajaya. According to reports, about 4,000 farmers in Bagan Serai Perak are worried that they may not be able to start paddy planting for the current season due to problems in getting the registered seedlings from suppliers. When asked if there would be a shortage of rice supply following the failure of farmers to start the paddy planting season as scheduled, Datuk Salahuddin said it would not happen. A committee comprising representatives of 3 ministries will look into online food delivery company foodpanda's new payment scheme that triggered protest amongst its food delivery partners. Human Resources Minister M. Kulasegaran said the Cabinet decided that the Human Resources, Youth and Sports and Domestic Trade Cooperatives and Consumer Affairs would be looking into it. More than 200 riders staged a strike against the new payment scheme on Monday, complaining that it will reduce their income. Foodpanda in a statement said they would be paying the riders more for each delivery. But riders had claimed that under the new scheme, they would not be paid for the actual hours they have worked, as they would only be paid between 4 ringgit 50 sen and 7 ringgit for batches of 1 to 6 hours. On Tuesday, riders had met Youth and Sports Minister Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman at his residence to air their grievances. Among the issues highlighted by the riders was that they were not considered employees and only as delivery partners. Syed Saddiq had said there was a need for a new law to regulate the gig economy and provide better worker protection in the long run. And after the Cabinet meeting, Youth and Sports Minister Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman said the Cabinet had suggested that Foodpanda revert to the original payment scheme for its delivery riders. He said the government believes in free market competition, but it cannot be at the expense of the workers. Syed Saddiq also revealed that Foodpanda claimed it has a large control of the market and that most of the riders, except those in Johor, had agreed to the implementation of the new payment scheme. However, this was not accurate, as riders from Pulau Pinang and Negeri Sembilan also protested against Foodpanda's new payment scheme. Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia Bersatu is expected to decide on its candidate for the Tanjung Piai parliamentary by-election in a special meeting in Pagoh on Friday. Johor Bersatu Chairman Mazlan Bujang said the meeting would be chaired by party president and Johor Pakatan Harapan Chairman Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. He also said Bersatu Johor would propose Tan Sri Muhyiddin to lead the campaign as elections director in Tanjung Piai. Mazlan said the 14-day campaign period announced by the Election Commission on Tuesday was normal and would not be a problem for Johor Bersatu. Nomination day will be held on November 2nd, while polling has been set for November 16th. The late Tanjung Piai MP, Datuk Dr. Mat Farid Mat Rafiq, died on September 21st due to complications from a heart attack. The Tanjung Piai Bersatu Deputy Division Chief won the parliamentary seat in the 14th general election with a majority of 524 votes. Six men nabbed over brutal killing of Borneo pygmy elephant. This and more home stories right after this breather. Stay tuned. Welcome back, still on Nightline. Police have received a report on a Facebook account holder, Nga Ko Ming Superfans page, which allegedly insulted the Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah. Deputy Inspector General of Police, Datuk Mazlan Mansor, said the report was lodged by an aide of the Sultan on Tuesday.
Ada report dibuat di Shahlam semalam. Ada siasatan, kalau tak silap saya lah, ada report dibuat semalam. Kita siasat dah dulu, tengok macam mana. So apapun, biarlah kita lihat daripada semua angle dulu ya. Saya tidak mahu komen di peringkat ini.
He was speaking to newsmen at the closing ceremony of a police graduation program at the police college in Cheras on Wednesday. A posting on the Facebook account, Nga Ko Ming Superfans page, had allegedly incited the Chinese community to protest against the Sultan of Selangor, which had gone viral on Sunday. The posting followed the Sultan's instructions that road signs in Shah Alam, currently in Chinese, be replaced by road signs in Bahasa Malaysia. Perak DAP Chairman Nga Ko Ming, however, denied any involvement. In Sabah, 6 people, including a foreigner, have been arrested to facilitate an investigation into the recent brutal killing of a male Borneo pygmy elephant in Tawau. District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Peter Umbuas said they will be remanded on Thursday.
Berusia di antara 48 ke 68 tahun kerana disyaki terlibat dalam kes ini, dan juga mereka ni ada di antara mereka ni memiliki senjata buatan sendiri.
Police also confiscated 56 live bullets and 3 firearms believed to be used by the suspects in connection to the discovery of an elephant carcass, believed to have been shot 70 times at Sungai Udin Dumpas. All of them were detained at Felda Umas in Tawau on Wednesday. 2 of the 6 detained were Felda Umas workers tasked to monitor animal encroachment at the plantation. He added police will also trace the transporter or purchaser of the tusks. The case is being investigated under the Firearms Act 1960. In Selangor, actress Zarina Zainuddin was fined for a total of 17,500 ringgit at the Petaling Jaya Magistrates Court over 6 counts of owning and selling cosmetic products without notifying the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency, NPRA, in January. Earlier, 48-year-old Zarina pleaded guilty after all 6 charges were read to her in front of Magistrate M. Barat. According to the first charge, Zarina, as the director of Adura Marketing Sendirian Berhad, had sold a cosmetic set made up of 1 box of Adura black soap, 1 box of Adura day cream and 1 box of Adura night cream. Meanwhile, in the 2nd to 6th charges, she was found to be in possession of the same 3 cosmetic sets, including 68 boxes of Adura black soap, 279 boxes of white-labelled Adura day cream, 89 boxes of pink-labelled Adura day cream, and 205 boxes of Adura day cream 10 ml. It is understood that the NPRA was not notified of all the products. Zarina then paid the fines before leaving the court. Also in Selangor, a couple has been remanded for 7 days starting Wednesday to facilitate probe into the death of a child. According to South Klang District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Shamsul Amar Ramli, the duo, aged 36 and 30, were detained on Tuesday following the death of a 4-year-old girl in a house along Jalan Yadi Klang on September 29th. A post-mortem confirmed that the girl had died from injuries to the abdomen that was inflicted by a metal object. Shamsul Amar added signs of abuses were also found on 3 other children whom the couple had been taking care of. The case is being investigated for child abuse and murder. In Terengganu, a man was charged at 2 separate courts on Wednesday with committing physical sexual assault on his neighbours. The accused, Muhammad Asri Ramli, aged 54, however, pleaded not guilty to both charges under Section 14A of the Child Sexual Offences Act 2017 and Section 354 of the Penal Code. In the Sessions Court, Asri was accused of molesting a 5-year-old girl, while in the Magistrate Court, he was charged with using criminal violence on the 44-year-old victim's mother with the intent of outraging her modesty. No bails were offered, and both courts have fixed November 4th and October 15th for mention of the cases, respectively. In Pulau Pinang, the High Court on Wednesday ordered 3 men, including 2 Iranians and a woman, to enter their defence on an amended charge of trafficking in drugs into the country 4 years ago. Judge Dato' Akhtar Tahir made the order after finding that the prosecution had succeeded in establishing a prima facie case against J. Balakrishnan, aged 63, B. Lechmi Devi, 56, and the 2 Iranians, Muhammad Abbasi Yunus, 37, and Said Mohsen Namazikivaj Sayed Reza, 31. All of them opted to testify under oath from the witness stand, and the court set November 11th to 14th for the defence trial. They were charged under Section 39B(1)(a) of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952 and punishable under Section 39B(2) of the same law, read together with Section 34 of the same law. Singapore's controversial fake news law goes into effect despite criticism. Don't go away. Welcome back. On to the foreign front. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson promised his Conservative Party on Wednesday that there will be no checks at or near the border in Northern Ireland as he prepares to offer a constructive and reasonable last-minute Brexit proposal to the European Union (EU). Speaking to the Conservative Party members in Manchester, Johnson also threatened to walk away from negotiations if the 2 sides fail to reach an agreement.
Today in Brussels, we are tabling what I believe are constructive and reasonable proposals, which provide a compromise for both sides. We will, under no circumstances, have checks at or near the border in Northern Ireland.
The Prime Minister took every opportunity throughout his speech to attack his opponents in the Labour Party, in another sign he is on an election footing. He then repeated his desire to get Brexit done, criticising Labour's efforts to stop a no-deal exit, calling the Labour leadership fratricidal, anti-Semitic Marxists. Johnson also warned there would be grave consequences for trust in democracy if Brexit is delayed beyond October 31st. Singapore's new law to combat fake news came into effect Wednesday, despite criticism from tech giants and activists who labelled the tough rules a chilling attempt to stifle dissent. The law gives government ministers powers to order online media platforms to put warnings next to posts authorities deemed to be false and, in extreme cases, get them taken down. However, Facebook, Twitter and Google, who have their Asian headquarters in Singapore, were given temporary exemptions from a handful of provisions in the Act in order to give them time to adapt. Under the law, if an action is judged to be malicious and damaging to Singapore's interests, companies could be hit with fines of up to $720,000, while individuals could face jail terms of up to 10 years. Up next, national high jumper Hup Wei creates history at the World Championships final. Stay tuned. We're now back with sports news. Athletics, the World Athletics Championships. National high jumper Lee Hup Wei made history as he became the first Malaysian track and field athlete to reach the finals of the prestigious tournament since it was introduced in 1938 by the International Association of Athletics Federations, IAAF. The 32-year-old also smashed his personal best as he made a 2.29 meters jump in the Group B qualifying round in Doha, Qatar, to finish 9th in this group. The result saw Hup Wei, the 2007 Asian Championship winner, capable of returning to clinch the national record just shy of 0.01 meters behind the national team record held by teammate Naraj Singh Randawa at 2.30 meters. The former national record holder will compete in the finals on Saturday morning. He would be up against stiff competition, including defending champion Mutaz Esa Barshim, who recorded 2.35 meters 2 years ago and had a personal best of 2.43 meters, and 2018 Asian Games winner Wang Yu. France kicks off the Breast Cancer Awareness Month on Wednesday by lighting the iconic Eiffel Tower in pink, followed by a free concert by British singer Dido and French singer Catherine Ranger of the pop rock group Lerita Mutsuko. Visuals of the luminous light show wrap up Nightline this time around, and for a good cause too. Anita Wu, thank you for tuning in. Stay safe.